Good morning. You hear me, guys?
Yes.
Firstly, let's remember what was explained in the previous session. We start new topic, which is reproduction in plants, and we start with the meaning of reproduction. We said that the meaning of reproduction, the process by which living organisms produce new individual or new offspring of same kind or same species, and to keep the continuity of this species, new offsprings or new individual must be fertile. And then we mentioned the types of reproduction. We have two types of reproduction according to different types of living organisms, whether they are unicellular or multicellular. These types are asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. And we differentiate between the meaning of sexual organs and sexual cells. And we mentioned the types of cells inside the bodies, living organisms, which is body cells or sex cells. The difference between types of cells according to the number of chromosomes. If the cell contains the same number of chromosomes or the total number of chromosomes of this species, it will be body cells. Like human have 46 chromosomes. So in the cell which have this total number of chromosomes, which is 46, will be body or somatic cells, like skin cell, liver cell, stomach cell, and so on. But the cell which have the half number of chromosomes, for example, in human being, 23 chromosomes, will be sex cell, like sperm in case of male, and ovum or egg or ovule in case of female. But we mentioned the difference between ovary and ovum, and difference between testis and sperm. Who can tell me the difference between these organs and cells? Who can tell me, guys?
معلش Mr. say the question again.
What is the difference between ovary and ovum and testis and sperm? Ovary, ovum, testis, sperm. What's the difference?
The ovary is and this is the sexual organ.
Yes. What about ovum?
And what is produced from the ovary, which has 23 chromosomes.
So it is organ or tissue or cell?
Is a cell.
Cell, body or sex cell?
Sex cell.
Sex cell. So ovum is sex cell of female, and ovary is a sexual organ of female, but have body cells or sex cells, ovary? Ovary composed of sex cell or body cells? The ovary.
body cell.
Yes,
لا
body cells.
6 cells.
No, body cells.
لا عشان ده ovary مش الأو.
Ovary body cells produce sex cell ovum, but it composed of body cells. You got it?
Yes يا مستر.
Angie, you got it?
هو مش أنا اللي كنت بجاوب.
مش أنا بسألك. You got it?
أي تمام.
Okay. And it is the same for testis and sperm. Testis, sexual organs of male and composed of body cells, and produce sex cell, which is sperm, and sperm is sex cell of male. And from last year, year 8, must know the important and function of testis and ovaries. Rapidly, ovary, its function releasing of ovum or eggs, and responsible for the releasing of the sex hormones of female, which is responsible for the appearing of secondary sex characters. And testis, same for male, producing sperm and releasing sex hormones for male, which are responsible for appearing of secondary sex characters. Okay. So we talked about types of reproduction: sexual and sexual reproduction. Firstly, this comparison between these two types. The first point of comparison, definition. So what is the meaning of asexual reproduction? This type of reproduction produce offspring genetically identical to the parents. So there is no variety and diversity in this species, which is produced by asexual. So the first point definition, asexual reproduction process resulting in the production of genetically identical offspring from one parent. And this reproduction includes mitosis division, because mitosis division occurs just for the dividing of body cells, not sex cells. The other type of reproduction, sexual. This process includes or occurs by the fusion between two different nuclei of two gametes, to be accurate, male and female. So it includes two parents at the end to form the zygote. The zygote is genetically different than the parents. Okay, so first point, asexual reproduction produce offspring genetically identical to parents, but sexual produce offspring genetically different than parents. Second point of comparison, the number of parents involved in this process. We said that for asexual reproduction, just one parent, like bacteria cell divided as like this. Right, okay, just one cell. Bacteria contains the DNA and then start to shrink from the middle like this, and this to DNA, and then this shrink splitting for producing two new bacterial cells contains the DNA. So these two producing new cells similar to the parent cell. So it just include one parent. But in case of sexual reproduction, includes two parents. Two different parents. Two different, must be accurate. Two different parents, male and female, and these two different parents must reach to the maturity age or stage to have the ability to perform this process. Third point of comparison about the reproductive organs. We'll zoom in for you. I think it's clear now, right? It's clear?
Yes.
Okay. Reproductive organs. About the reproductive organs for sexual reproduction, this process not includes or not involve with gametes or reproductive organs, so there is no formation of zygote. Don't say that about the asexual reproduction, they produce zygote. Zygote just formed as a result of the fusion between the male nucleus and female nucleus. So no zygote produced or formed during asexual reproduction. So no gametes, which means sexual, with no zygote. About sexual reproduction, it's involved gametes and involved formation of zygote. A zygote is the first cell produced as a result of the fusion between male gamete and female. Next point of comparison, type of cell division. We said it before, sexual reproduction by meiosis, and then mitosis. Pay attention, please. Meiosis for sexual and then mitosis. So why firstly, pay attention please, why firstly division is meiosis and then mitosis? Any ideas? Anyone know about this point? Any information? Why sexual reproduction first?
Because fertilization occurs before the mitosis
Fertilization
for growth.
For growth.
Mr. عشان الميتوsis when the sperm cell will ovum, they get together, they make gametes, which is the بعد كده الميتوsis بيعمل fertilization, بعد كده بيعمل offspring.
Okay. Thank you for your efforts. I appreciate your efforts. Muhammad Zoghbi, you have any information before I explain it? I want to hear you. You don't think so? Okay. Okay. Thank you. The main point of this process sexual, and this process occurs through different stages. First stage, formation of gametes. Formation of gametes. Second stage, fertilization. No fertilization before forming of gametes or producing of gametes. And these gametes, which is sperm in case of male and ovum in case of female. These two sex cells have the half number of chromosomes, not the total number of chromosomes. So during the formation of gametes, we have two types of division. First, meiosis, second, mitosis. One of them produce cell identical to the parent cell, which means have the total number of chromosomes. The other type produce different cells with different number of chromosomes, have number of chromosomes. So the formation of gametes will divide it by the type of division produced cell contains total number of chromosomes or contains have number of chromosomes. Hi guys. For the formation of sex cells, they must divide it or produced by division, produce cells with total number of chromosomes or with half number of chromosomes.
Half number?
Have number of chromosomes. So meiosis produce cells with half number of chromosomes, but mitosis produce cells with total number of chromosomes. So the formation of sex cells or gametes will be occurred by meiosis division or mitosis division.
The formation of what?
Formation of sex cells, sperm and ovum.
Meiosis.
Meiosis. To be have the half number of chromosomes, right?
Yes.
Okay. After this fusion of male and female gametes, zygote is formed. This zygote during the pregnancy period, for example, 9 months, will grow or will still just one cell.
Will grow.
Will grow. So the number of cells of this zygote increased by high rate or by low rate.
By low.
You don't know?
I said by low rate.
By low rate. But number of cells increased, right?
Yes.
And during this pregnancy period, the most cells produced and formed inside or for this zygote, do you think it will be sex cell or body cell?
Sex cells.
Most of cells. I say most of cells. Sex cells. Muhammad, you hear me?
Yes, body cells.
Okay, I want to ask you a question, okay? Can I ask you?
Yes.
The baby inside his mother have sperm or ovum?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Okay. Pay attention, guys, please. It's a very important point. The baby inside the uterus of mother, his mother, have 6 cells, do you think? These 6 cells, like sperm, like ovum, do you think that? And you must differentiate between sex cells and sexual organs. Guys, no answer? Do you
Mister, what
understand
is
my
your
question?
question?
Okay. You don't hear me? You hear me, guys? My voice is clear?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
I ask about the baby inside his mother's uterus. Have 6 cells, whatever, whether it male or female.
No, body cells.
Okay. So this division for the body cells, mitosis or meiosis?
Mitosis.
Mitosis. So the sexual reproduction start with meiosis and then completed by mitosis. Is it clear?
Mister, what is the meaning of
Yes.
meiosis or mitosis?
Meiosis types of division. Division mean one cell produce 2 cells. 2 cells produce 4 cells. 4 cells, 8 cells. 8, 16, and so on. So the number of cells increase. Mariam, you hear me?
Yes, yes.
You got it? So the division means increasing the number of cells. But
What is the difference between them?
yes, one of these types produce cells have the total number of chromosomes. Okay? For example, in human being, the skin cell have 46 chromosomes. When a skin cell divided to produce new skin cells, the new skin cells have the same number of chromosomes as the old one or different?
The same.
The same. So this division mitosis. Okay?
Okay.
The other type of division, meiosis, produce cells contains the half number of chromosomes. For example, in human being, the total 46. So this new cells will be have just 23. This type of division, meiosis. Okay? So
Yes.
meiosis produce cells have total number of chromosomes or half number of chromosomes. Marine. Meiosis. Meiosis produce cells with total number of chromosomes or half number of chromosomes?
Half number.
Half number. But mitosis, total number, right?
Yes.
You got it?
Yes, I got it.
So the production of 6 cells, which is gametes, pay attention, okay? The formation or production of gametes, 6 cells, will be by meiosis or mitosis?
Meiosis.
Meiosis. So the gametes divided meiosis by meiosis division to have the half number of chromosomes. The rate of reproduction of offspring. In case of asexual reproduction rapidly, but about sexual reproduction slow. For example, about the starfish. And just imagine this is starfish. Starfish with 5 arms. This starfish reproduce by asexual reproduction by type called regeneration, which means what? If this arm missed or cutting, so what will happen? Let me use the erasers. You hear me, guys?
Yes.
Okay. This starfish start to regenerate the missing part by formation new arms by this central disk. So this compensation of the missing part, this arm, take short time or long time? Sorry guys, you still with me?
Yes.
Sorry about this internet connection. Let's complete share screen. For the starfish with 5 arms and this central disk, one of these arms cutting down like this and have piece of central disk. What will happen? The missing part would be compensated, new arm, and the missing part, this arm will produce new starfish. So the number of starfish increase or not?
Yes, increase.
So it is reproduction or not?
Yes.
Sexual,
reproduction.
sexual or asexual?
Asexual.
Asexual.
Sexual, no sexual organs. And this producing or production of new offspring take long time or short time?
Short time.
So
Short time.
yes,
Time.
so the rate of this reproduction, rapidly or slowly?
Rapidly.
Rapidly. So asexual reproduction occurs rapidly for producing new offsprings, but about sexual, slow. The baby still 7, 8, 9 months inside the mothers. Okay, so this reproduction sexual slow. Next point about the offsprings. We said that the offsprings in case of asexual reproduction identical to the parents, so there is no variation or no diversity. All of these offsprings, new offsprings, similar to the parents and similar to each other. So there is no diversity. But about sexual reproduction, the offsprings genetically different or non-identical to the parents, so it's showing diversity. Like each one of us is home, the mother, father, sister, brother, and our not similar to each other, we are different. So there is diversity. One of us have blue eye color, other one green, other one dark brown, and so on. We have different characteristics, right? Right, guys?
Yes.
So this type of reproduction show different characteristics or show diversity. About examples for asexual reproduction, as we explained at this point before, like the pioneer division in bacteria and some fungi, and we said that some plants reproduce asexually. For example, the potatoes forming a tuber. Okay, this tuber can be grow to form another potato plant, and this reproduction not include sexual organs, so it's considered as asexual. For the sexual reproduction, about its examples, animals and the flowering plants which produce seeds. Next. For the sexual reproduction, we say that this will include just one parent, and the energy required for this process, less energy. And this occurs rapidly and spread rapidly. And if the parents are well adapted, so offspring will be adapted to the external environment. But if the parents not adapted, so the offspring is well not adapted because there is no diversity. The offspring is identical. The other type, sexual, show different diversity or more variations and show evolutions and more adaptation. Evolution means the change in the genes generation after another one. The last generation, next generation have similar characteristics, but they are different genes. For example, the old people, their height more than 3-4 meters, giant. But now most of people less than 2 meters, less than 1.5 meters. So there's evolution. And in this sexual reproduction, by parents of evolution in the living organisms resulting by sexual reproduction, they have less chance to pass on genetic disease from the parents to their offspring. So they're adapted and more evolution. Next point. Which is okay, for sexual reproduction, needs two parents, different parents, male and female, and this process take long time, occurs slowly, and produce fewer number of offsprings, not more numbers, and loss or wastes of gametes, and maybe the fertilization not happen, not the fertilization occurs on all times, and takes a lot of energy for the appearance. But in case of sexual, no diversity, just one parent, and maybe the disease is transmitted directly to offspring because there is no evolutions. And so many diseases transmitted from generation to another and maybe kill all these organisms. And these organisms less able to adapt to the external changes of environment. So no adaptation and less evolution or no evolution. The next time, you have a session now.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, guys. See you next session. Goodbye.